picking up the image, you know?
Yeah, let me put I'll just put it off video then if you're not seeing me so you can see at least my
Your
face.
okay. All right, all right.
Well,
Welcome.
good luck.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm gonna mute myself though, because I've been coughing still. You can hear
That's
my voice a little raspy.
oh, okay. But try to participate. Look, because today I'm actually just gonna give you guys the tax code for free.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very it's gonna knock your socks off. It's gonna be really good. So yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be fire. Rock.
You look great. Yeah, I'm excited for you. You're standing. I love that energy of standing and
Yeah, I like to stand, even though my feet already starting to like, because I've been standing like since like 11, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but that's okay. It's the tech part, that we've been trying to put together. Like I am in TikTok, on YouTube, and also recording on Zoom. So it's like, and then I also have like another my iPad over there because I want to show my quadrant. And so, yeah, it's going to be good. So,
Done. Good.
Lindy. Lin-
Lindsay, welcome.
Good morning, sunshines. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Susan. Hello, Rick.
Yeah,
hello there.
let's put something here.
Nice to see you guys.
Yes, I forgot something to grab. Gonna grab it right now. My preps, because I think people understand better when we show them these things,
Yep.
I don't have it ready because, yeah, we're going to. All right, so let's see. What time is it?
104.
1:04. We wait like one more minute just in case more people come in.
Sure.
Before we start, what do you think? And then
Sounds like
rumble. I'm gonna
jump in.
show you
Going.
the destination first because like my brain, the way it works is like show me where I'm supposed to go so I can start going.
Mm.
And yeah, let's see. Somebody else is here, Sarah. Let's see, Sarah. Sarah. Sarah.
Hey, welcome. Hey.
Let's see. Where is Sarah? Welcome, Sarah. Let's see. Wendy. Oh, to come. Okay. Okay. Hello. Very good. Very good. Well, welcome. The next one, Tanya. All right. Tanya's here. Tanya. Welcome, Tanya. Welcome, welcome. There you are. Good girl.
Hello. How
I
are you
don't get to
doing?
see you in person. No, not
Oh, yeah, right?
in person. It is, well, you know what I mean. Live. It's so nice to see you. I hope you invited more people because it's gonna knock your socks off here today. It's gonna be firecrackers. Yes. All right.
You ready?
Let's see. I think we can. What do you think,
Yeah.
Hannah?
We can get started, guys.
All right.
Well, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you guys are at in the world. But so happy that you guys are here. Susan has got, like you said, firecrackers, fireworks for us today. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Cannot wait to have you guys learn from Susan. She's amazing. Going to drop bombs of knowledge for us here. So we really want you guys to be engaged and participating in the chat and whatnot today. Say hello to everybody, make a new friend, find out where you guys are from. Yep, love it. drop a little emoji in the chat, kind of giving us how are you feeling today as you're coming in? How are you coming in curious? Are you coming in excited? Are you coming in on fire or coming in fireworks? Just drop us a little emoji in the chat how you're feeling today and how you're coming in. And also maybe what is one thing that you guys are excited to learn about or to walk away from with this knowledge by the end of this masterclass today? What is one thing you guys are hoping to learn from today from Susan? You guys can come off of mute if you want to and share this. We'd love to hear your voices, or you can put it in the chat. Either way is fine, but definitely want to hear from you guys. Welcome. So good to have all you guys.
I would like to answer. I would like to ask questions, and I'm very curious, and I'm looking for information about organized taxes. I am an agent, and I was running for 1 year without creating an LLC, and now I'm very worried about my taxes. And my husband is using an app. This is TurboTax. So I told him that maybe we will need now to get an accountant, and but I don't know what information do I bring there, and about gas, about things, because I'm always going to visit clients, partners, and trainings and flyings, trainings in other cities and other states. So I have all the expenses, but I don't know how to control that and separate accounts and those kind of things. I'm really excited that all the information that you will provide. Thank you.
You are in the right place. Susan has got all the information and more. So yay, so glad you're here. Thank you for sharing. Amazing. And Susan in the chat, Lindy was saying she wants to learn how the wealthy manage their money, which I think we all want to learn that as we are building wealth, right? We want to know how to steward the money that we are building and how to make it continue to grow, right? Because we're looking to build generational wealth, I think, for our family. So love that. You're in the right place as well, Lindy. And then Rick also shared he's doing amazing. Yes, awesome. Table 3, yeah. Table 3. He also wants to learn how to refer his clients and how to save on his taxes as well. So again, you guys are in the right place. This is awesome. So happy to have all of you guys here. And just a quick tip for you guys, a quick note as we are jumping into this with Susan is, I really want to encourage you guys to really be active and participate in the chat, make sure you're taking notes. If you grab a pen, pencil, grab a paper, take notes on your laptop, whatever it is, but make sure that you are actively engaged. According to the National Training Laboratories, they have found that people who actively participate by dropping answers, dropping emojis, or giving us a reaction, or sharing takeaways in the chat or coming on live, you tend to retain and hold on to the knowledge that you're learning about 70% of what you're hearing today, right? Whereas if you're just kind of sitting back passively and just kind of, thing and not really, doing maybe multitasking on other things, you're only going to maybe retain about 20% of that. So you guys are here to learn how to build and grow your wealth in a way that's strategic and how to save on taxes and things like that. We want to learn this, right? We want to retain the knowledge that we are getting. So make sure that you guys are actively participating, sharing your takeaways.
I saw some chat about this as well, but it's like, okay, Ravi, I don't have enough time to install these systems inside of my business. And ironically,
Hey, Rick, I think we've got a video playing on your end.
The person that needs to install these systems more than anybody.
Yeah, perfect. And Rick, I love your background. That's where I want to be, on the beach right there. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, guys, so definitely just want to encourage you to be an active participant, giving us your takeaways when we ask for questions, bringing your questions to Susan. She's got so much knowledge. This is an amazing, amazing opportunity you guys have to really dive in and learn a lot about how to control your taxes. So again, welcome, welcome. Remember that chat is your secret weapon, or coming on and talking is your secret weapon. And also make some friends in the chat. Find out where each other's handles and see where you're at and help support each other and collaborate. You never know, you might make your next $1 million friend in the chat today. So just a quick note, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Hannah Chichoke Davis. I am a transformational multiplier and a mentor for women and men who are creating businesses and legacies and movements. I'm also the founder of Agora Wellness Company, which is an online gathering place for education and growth as the whole person and for the whole family. And I'm also the creator of the Table of Icons, the Queen's Council, and the P31 community, which is a new paradigm for women. And I'm so excited to be here as a co-host with Susan. Was so honored when she asked me to come on and help her with this masterclass. Susan is a wealth of information. And, as a business owner, busy business owner, I have, a lot of things going on in my life. Taxes definitely felt like an overwhelming thing for me. And just learning the bits that I've learned from Susan, I realized, it doesn't have to be such an overwhelming thing. And I don't have to feel helpless about it. And I think that's what excited me a lot about what I was learning from Susan. And I can't wait for you guys to hear from Susan as well, because again, she is just an amazing wealth of knowledge. So guys, buckle up, grab your pens and papers, and let's go. All right. So I want you guys to think about, as kids growing up, we went to school. What did you guys learn? Did you guys learn about taxes in school? Anybody? If you're so I learned maybe algebra, but not how to do my taxes, right? I learned how to dissect a frog, look at fish and whatnot, but not how to build wealth. I was prepared to take a test to pass an exam, right? But not for tax season. Like that was like mentioned. Nobody warned me, probably nobody warned you either, about the cash cancer and how it's been destroying marriages, families, dreams, businesses, all of these things for years, right? But you guys, today, that's going to end for you, because now you're getting into financial truth and knowledge. You are in the right place if you want to have a simple but strong understanding of how taxes really work, so that you, as a responsible person for your business, you can control a simple system that's going to help you to predict your tax bill way before tax season, so that you're going to have enough time to decrease it or be strategic about how you move things around, so that before you arrive at that IRS cash register, right? So that you know what you're doing. And also, maybe you're like me. Maybe you totally felt like you were listening to another language when people start talking about taxes, like you don't even understand it when your accountant starts trying to explain things to you, right? So you're in the right place for getting some that information, that critical tax instruction. And everybody always tells you need to know your taxes, but like nobody sits down with you and shows you how to do it, right? So you guys, if any of those situations sounds familiar to you, you're in the right place. This masterclass today will be extremely powerful, because Susan's going to show us a new revelation of the tax code. So I know a lot of you know Susan, but I'm going to dive in because I'm just so excited again about Susan, and like how amazing she is. So you guys, who is Susan Kerr? She's an IRS enrolled agent. She's a financial coach, and she's a wealth advisor. So if you're like me, I didn't know what an enrolled agent was, right? But so an enrolled agent with the IRS is a federally licensed tax professional who is authorized to represent taxpayers before the IRS in all 50 states. Enrolled agents earn this privilege by passing a rigorous 3-part exam on individual and business tax law. With unlimited practice rights, they can handle any tax matter for any taxpayer before any IRS office. That sounds pretty good, right? Enrolled agents, they're required to uphold strict ethical standards and complete continuing education to maintain this elite designation. This makes them experts in tax law and representation. You guys, enrolled agent status is the highest credential the IRS awards. Susan is known as the mastermind of Wealth Organization. She's the founder of Wealth Takeover Corporation, where she trains business owners in both English and Spanish to take full control of their finances. You guys, her signature training for executives, it begins at $25,000 and it just goes up from there. Okay, so the fact that we're going to get this masterclass today for free is pretty amazing and extremely valuable. With over 30 years of experience in finances, Susan has led teams in the banking industry, built a successful tax firm, and she has represented 5 to 8-figure business owners before the IRS on in-person audits. But her mission, you guys, her mission took her on a new urgency when she witnessed the silent suffering of business owners under IRS audits, owners who couldn't even explain how it all began to even fall apart. They had no, like, you couldn't even like trace it back, right? One man confessed to her that the IRS ate me alive. He just wanted to hide under their desk. Another collapsed from the stress of it and was rushed to the hospital. She's seen a marriage ended because of the stress of it. 2 businesses were shut down under audit pressures. You guys, lives are just falling apart. And that was Susan's breaking point. Determined to rewrite these stories that she was seeing and not have this happen for other business owners, Susan sold her firm and launched a movement. She created hands-on trainings. She became a keynote speaker. She started a YouTube channel, published the Tax Jungle Takeover Maine, and founded the Wealth Takeover Trainings. This is a financial awakening to help entrepreneurs and business owners avoid disaster before it strikes. She has an exclusive VIP day, which starts at $50,000. It's a VIP day with Susan, which gives corporations private strategic consultations to legally reduce their taxes, protect themselves during audits, and grow their cash flow through improved financial systems. In her training, The Wealth Takeover, Rise of the Wealth Warrior, clients can discover the Chronicle of Wealth, which is a simple 4-step map that she has created to master the IRS game and legally reduce taxes long-term. So that 4-step map, which we're going to be walked through by Susan today, stands for CODE, which is Tax Code Simplified Clarity, Order.
But also have an award, which is called your first high ticket sale award. Different goals.
So business owners know how to get
and
organized.
goals by the
Conquer.
end of the year to recoup the investment. Now, my question for you is, if I coach you first, $360 million, $16 million from stage with an offer I help them make.
There you go. Perfect. Thanks, Teresa. Okay. Okay, so order, which is helping business owners know how to get organized to conquer your results with speed, right? And then deduction. So you can be the one who controls your tax strategies, know how to be strategic about all these things. And then estimate, which is the last step, so that you as a business owner can estimate your taxes before you're even your accountant and before tax season, so you can know how to optimize savings and be strategic. All of this is to help protect your money in the true peace of God, with systems that are built on decades of real-world experience. Susan's not here to, save you from the IRS. She's here to train you to become your own wealth hero. If you guys are ready for your wealth takeover, I want you to give a really warm welcome to IRS enrolled agent and financial coach, Susan Kerr. Yay!
Yeah, woohoo! Applauses for you guys. You know why I'm applauding you? Because you're showing up for your wealth. This is how legends are made, and this is how legacy is created. How many of you would agree that time is our most valuable asset? How many of you agree? Wave your hands, right? I want to thank you for being here right now. I'm going to over the lever for you guys. Yeah. So that your time is not an expense, but it is an investment. So how many of you are ready to quantum leap into the tax code clarity? How many of you? Wave your hands. Woohoo! I'm going to play today because, life is about playing. So I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm actually going to show you, this is the way my brain works, okay? My brain works like, tell me where I'm going. Show me the destination. If you show me the destination, I'll pay attention to the steps. That's how my brain works. So I'm going to do that. All right, I'm going to do that. I've never done this before. I'm actually going to show you my the code in action. Like you've never, this doesn't exist anywhere that I know anywhere. Because everybody's teaching about tax strategies, all right? But that's not the way to control taxes. That is not the way. Take it from somebody who's been in the financial industry for 30 years and from someone who has an in-person IRS audits. All right. Let me play a quick video to remind you of our tax system. I just love this
You
guy.
wake up in a house, you're taxed to own. You buy a morning coffee and you're taxed. You drive to work in a car that's taxed, on roads that are taxed, fueled by gas that's taxed. You arrive to work in a company.
I think. There we go.
You wake up in a house, you're taxed to own. You buy a morning coffee and you're taxed. You drive to work in a car that's taxed, on roads that are taxed, fueled by gas that's taxed. You arrive to work in a company that's taxed, in offices that are taxed, to receive a paycheck that is taxed. Then you spend your money, tax. You invest it, tax. You start making more money, more tax. Oh, and when you die, they'll tax you one last time. The game is rigged. Learn the rules or pay the price.
Yeah, learn the rules or pay the price of. You are in the right place, people. All right, this is the treasure. Here it comes. What I'm going to show you is a result of 3 decades in the financial world. We're talking about the vast, dense jungle of taxes. This is my true simplified blueprint, developed through real life experiences, because you know that just education doesn't do it. You have to go through the experience, right? So this has been from real life experience of painful failures, graceful victories, and extensive research that has been simplified, organized, optimized, and then again, simplify, organize, optimize, like over 100 times, okay? So I just want you to picture that over 100 times, because you know how the tax code is. It's like, it's a twilight zone. You get in, you don't get out, okay? So what you're about to receive is the shortcut to reclaim control over your taxes, people. This is important. So here it goes. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Cool, cool. Wave your hands. Awesome, awesome. This is the 4 steps from 1 to 4. This is a step-by-step move to outsmart the complex tax system and take back control of your money. So while the IRS is preparing for more audits, after the Inflation Reduction Act allocated nearly over 80 billions over the next decade, with about 40 billion set aside for enforcement. In other words, just 40 billions is just set aside here, IRS. This is for you to enforce compliance, right? We have to be preparing for victory, okay? By following a proven plan to take over our God-given wealth. So this is the map of the wealth warrior, the code. So if we start first with learning the code clarity, scrolls reveals your path to conquer your wealth. Step 2, it's order, means organization, okay? Order becomes your armor for conquering results, not over the next year, not over 10 years, with the speed. Like it has to be fast, right? When you're in the battlefield, you need to just fight, right? So I'm teaching you how to win in this battlefield, okay? Remember, in this battlefield, you're in for protecting your wealth, you're in for passing an audit, and one of the most important things is you're in for getting your peace back, especially during tax season. The next one is deduction. So your deduction unlocks your trove of tax strategies. But I want you to notice something. It's not the first thing you need to focus, right? Tax strategies is after you have the bottom line, the foundation. And then 4 is estimate. Estimate of your taxes by not the accountant, not the tax software, by you. I know it's like, wait a minute, what did you just say, Susan? Wait, what? Yeah, I said by you. Yeah. And then you're probably thinking, but Susan, that's impossible because even Einstein said that learning that tax code is one of the most difficult times in the world. So you mean to tell me that me as a business owner, I'm going to be able to estimate my taxes? Yeah. That's what you're going to see. So you can evaluate the final results because right now nobody's doing that. Your accountant tells you, oh, it's going to be 20,000. You say, oh, geez, that's a lot of money, but I guess I have to pay it. Well, the next time the accountant says it's going to be 20,000, you're going to say, excuse me, for me, I have 15,000. Can you show me where is the difference? And then the accountant is going to say, well, I have this amount, this amount, and then you're going to be like, oh, no, that's not income, that's a loan. Oh, I thought it was income. Oh, okay, let me fix that. And then your accountant may say, well, I have all of these expenses, I don't have any more. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, no. That is not a personal expense, that's a business expense. You notice how now the control is given back to you as a business owner, not the accountant? Because right now it's not like that. So let me tell you something. Right now, this gonna knock socks off and it's from publication 55B. This is less than 1% right now of tax returns that are Schedule C are right. You're like, wait, what? No, let me repeat this again because I was like, what? More than 99% of tax returns with a Schedule C are wrong. Yep. Now you understand why the IRS is saying, oh, geez, there's a lot of money here that we need the money to audit these people because there's a lot of money. So the IRS, this is from 2023. They're getting ready to collect $24.1 billion from field examinations, meaning in-person audits, okay? In correspondence, 7.8 billions. And what we are counting right now, what we want to focus is the field examinations, because that's where this money, this about 40 billions, it's being invested, because it's got to be an investment for the IRS too, you know? So what we're doing here, it's detrimental, not just for you guys, it's detrimental for your family, for your children, that you learn the code. And this is the code. So I want to hear from you guys. So far, give me a wave. Do you guys understand so far what I explained? Yes? Awesome. Awesome. Good. Awesome. So now I'm going to show you something before, just very quickly. There are 3 types of investments in life, okay? There is you, your own business, and other people's business. Really, that is, if we put everything together, it's only 3 groups. Guess what? Guess which one is the most important investment of your life? Which one? Number 2, number 1, number 2, or number 3? Show me 1. Lindy, yes. Reese, yes. Number 1. The first one is you. So applauses for you. And I'm going to show you here. Employee manager, when you're an employee manager, that is taxed the most. When you're a consultant influencer, that is taxed a little bit less. And then when you have an option, when you have your own business, you can hold or sell the ownership you have in your business, right? You're the one who makes decisions. When you invest in other people's business, you can also be the employee, the manager. You can also be the consultant, the influencer. You can also hold equity. But the main thing, and this is going to serve because this is a chain, is not decision making. So you have those two options, your own business and somebody else's business. In your own business, you have more control, you can make decisions. In the other people's business, no decision. So let's move on. What if you've been watering the wrong part of your tax tree? This pretend right here, this white tree right here is the tax tree. The roots is the tax code. The trunk is the strategies and protection. The leaves is the tax return, right? The tax return. A lot of people, most of the people, they're watering the leaves by just doing the tax returns. Just think about that. We are supposed to water the tax code. In other words, we're supposed to understand the tax code, because guess who's paying the penalties? Who is paying the taxes? It's not the accountant. It is us. It's coming from our purse. It's coming from our pocket. Dr. Tubi, woohoo! Welcome, welcome. So that's what we've been doing. Like 99% of the people, that's what they're doing. We are watering the leaves of the tree and not the roots. And today, guess what you're going to do today, people? You guys are going to be watering the tax code. All right, let's move along. The next one, really quick. This is a tax metaphor. Imagine you walk into a public market, you grab what you need, some income here, a few business expenses there, maybe an investment or two. You're just filling your cart with what seems right. But here's the twist. Nothing has the price. You have no idea what anything costs. When you finally get to the cashier, your accountant rings everything up using the tax software. The total shows up on the screen, but it's too late. You put everything back because you cannot go back to the prior year. Then a security guard, the IRS, checks your receipt, which is your tax return, to make sure it all lines up. And here is the thing. The prices were there all along. It was there all along. You just couldn't see them because they're written in the tax code, not on tax. But if you learn the tax code, it's like turning on the lights. Now you can see the prices before you put anything in your card, before the register and before your accountant. That's how you take control of your money. And that's exactly what the cash takeover training helps you to do. Type code in the chat, people. Type code in the chat. We're going to, my goodness. I like this. Albert Einstein said the hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. This is what I say. You will know the code, and the code will make you free. You will know the code, and code shall make you free. I don't know. That sounds like somebody else said that, isn't it? You will know the truth, and the truth shall make you free by knowing the code. All right. So let's go. Let's go. So this is, let's go with the order. Okay, wealth takeover map is a step-by-step move. We know this is our path to victory, but I gotta let you know something. Whenever you're in the battlefield, there are enemies. I want to show you your enemies. Victory belongs to those who know their allies and enemies. And guess what their weapon is against you? Distraction. Let's there. So we have the allies, the Trinity. The second, but this one is your enemy, a spider of wealth destruction, this organization, the dragon of wealth destruction, and the serpent of wealth false information. So there is a great king that said, do not be afraid, only believe. The lion walks powerfully on the ground. He fights for you. Let's put that on mute here. There we go. All right. We go. So this is the treasure triad, your greatest allies, but only when you know the code. See, at first, it awakens a wild unicorn and a roaring lion, one unpredictable, the other fierce and commanding. But as a wealth warrior studies the text code scrolls, something extraordinary happens. The unicorn softens. The lion speaks with the voice of king. From above, the dove descends, calmly and wisely. The triad becomes the warrior's most powerful allies, guiding you to their wealth castle. So the next one is the spider of wealth disorganization. Just when the wealth warrior feels like it's a superhero because now you have these three, the Trinity working with you, armor, bold and ready to fight the big enemy head on. That's when the silent threat strikes. The spider of wealth lurks in the shadows. It doesn't roar, it doesn't charge. Instead, it weaves silent webs of disorganization, lost receipts, scattered records, missing files. It hides in plain sight, weakening your foundation. It drains your clarity, traps your time, and delays your destiny, all without you noticing until it is too late. This is why you must rise, not just with strength, but with strategy. So, let me show you the next one. The dragon of wealth destruction fights you from implementing it right now. It strikes at the start of the year, listen to this, breathing fire to keep you busy, too scattered to act, but be aware, once the year ends, it quiets down because it knows the damage is done. and your chance to lower taxes has passed. But the way to destroy it is by unlocking the treasure trove of tax laser strategies to defend your wealth and protect your empire from the dragon. There's one last enemy you have to be aware of: the serpent of wealth false information. It steals your wealth power by making you doubt your own wisdom. This serpent strikes with deception, whispering lies that make you doubt yourself. And it's going to act today on you. When I show you the code, it's going to make you doubt. It winds its way into your mind, clouding judgment and stealing financial power. The way to defeat it is to master an estimate of your tax cost and reclaim control before it tightens its grip. Watch the TCS quadrant in action, pulverizing the serpent. So, remember to take notes. I want you guys to grab a pen and a paper because this is going to be important. We're going to play a game. And in this game, in this paper, just put a line in the middle, both, so that you have 4 squares. So that you make a quadrant. Because I want you guys to know where you are in the mall, in the tax mall. Because if you know where you are, you know where to go, right? All right. And let's go. Let me have, so far, I'm going to stop here and have let Hannah come in. And then I'm going to show you something like totally, like we're going to go to a different room and I'm going to show you something else. So go ahead.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that was pretty powerful. Yeah, Susan, thank you so much. You guys, we would love to take a quick minute to just share some takeaways or some breakthroughs that you guys got. Come off of mute, drop it in the chat, but if you can come off of mute and share with us, we'd love to hear any takeaways that you guys have gotten or some golden nuggets you learned. You can raise your hand up or just come off of mute is fine. Hey, Rich, good to see you.
Well, it's good to see Rich on there as well. We didn't say hi to him at the beginning. Yeah, the biggest thing is just knowledge is always power. And I've learned that so many ways along the way, and leveraging someone who's already been there, done that. My success has never been something on just my own. Every big, huge jump I had, whether it was in sports, the classroom, definitely in business, was having someone that I found was already where I wanted to be. They took a liking in me because of the effort they saw me put out initially. It wasn't just randomly picked. It was rewarding my action, and I'm rewarding my action by being the first one on the call and being here. I'm getting to get this knowledge. And again, I want to find the expert like Susan to just take me to the end place myself. I don't want to have to start learning everything myself and be like ground 101, like I just landed from Mars. I want to just get the answers to the test by someone who's already done the work. And that's what I've learned in life. Let's just do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yay. Awesome, Rick. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I love it. Not having to start from zero, right? Being able to stand on the shoulders of giants who've learned and done the things. And that's what Susan brings to us and makes it so clear and simple. And yeah, just love it. Anybody else with a takeaway?
Hey, I can jump in. This is Lindy.
Mm-hmm.
Susan, thank you so much for this. This is amazing. And I love the animals. I love the spider and the dragon and the serpent. It sort of solidified in my mind. I was like, oh gosh, that's me. That's me. The confusion, I don't have time to do this. I'm just going to stuff all my receipts in a box until the end of the year. And then I lose the box like that. Sorry, I'm like totally confessing. So that I'm like, oh my goodness, there's an antidote and Susan has it. And I'm just so grateful. You're so beautiful. And I'm just enjoying this so much. And I'm learning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting smart and it's super fun. So thank you, sweetheart. I'm loving this.
Thank you, Lindy. Yes, so true.
I'll jump in next. Hi, everyone. I definitely agree with the takeaways that Rick shared and Lindy shared. Thank you, Susan, so much for this information. I would say what really caught my attention, I love all your analogies and your images and the pictures that really bring and drive the point home. So like Lindy said, to give you more clarity and understanding of what's happening, because taxes and just like the only thing I was concerned about is the tax return, but leaving money on the table when we do that and just missing out on a lot of things. And so when you brought up the tree with the watering the roots and not just the plants with the tax returns, but all the in between with the tax code first being the roots. So we help schools and organizations with planting and growing and food cultivation. And the first thing I thought about was when I have one of my schools call me and they have a problem with we grow with hydroponics. And they call me and say something happened with our machine and my plants died, all the leaves are dead, and I don't know what to do. We're worried all of our food is gone. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Just calm down. Just cut off those top leaves. The leaves are not the biggest issue. Just cut off those top plants, those leafy greens, and just check your roots. Pull out the pod and see how your roots are doing. If your roots are still strong and healthy and beautiful, they're going to grow back. Everything's going to be fine. And so you're analogizing the picture with the tree and the tax code first. I was like, okay, I can say I don't have time for it, but that's the most important part of that. Tax code is the root of everything. Let me put my focus on the health of that and everything else will fall into place. So that was amazing.
Awesome.
100%. That's awesome, Reese. Thank you so much for sharing. That was great. I know, I think there's also that misconception out there that like we don't need to learn about our taxes. I think a lot of people kind of have that, my accountant's going to take care of that. I'll just throw that out. I'll, have someone else take care of that. But that's kind of like saying, as a pilot, my co-pilot, they don't need me. They can do it, right? And your co-pilot might have something to say about that. Like, wait a second, you're the pilot. I'm just a co-pilot. And so, the truth of that is we can't expect our accountants and whatnot to do all of those things at 100%, to do all of, perform 100% when we're only giving like 25%. Or I love it, Lindy, like you said, that little box of receipts and everything that you collect throughout the year. No, I definitely have done that too. So yeah, learning amazing things here, guys. Thanks for those great takeaways. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'll go. This is Teresa. First of all, Susan, it is so good to see you and everybody else in here. It's just like, yay. I'm blown away because I had no idea that there was that much money set aside to catch us. That to me, I'm like, okay, so if they want to make that much money, we don't have a deficit problem. It's just another thing that we've been told that we probably shouldn't believe. And I think, Susan, it goes back to the distraction animal, right? It's all distraction. Thank you so much for that. That was a blowaway. I can't even, whether it's field money or it's all a blowaway. So thank you for that level of education. Had no idea.
Yeah.
And it's so good to see you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was pretty staggered by that number that is set aside just to catch us. Like that was pretty perspective shifting, right? Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody else? All right. Well, we are going to dive into the first step of the code. Susan kind of gave us a framework, but now you guys, you get ready to take back your authority and your power in the tax system and conquer your God-given wealth with the code scrolls, okay? You're about to receive a revelation that took years and years and many, many iterations of research and face-to-face IRS audits to uncover and build out in this simple, easy to understand path. So are you ready? Type a yes in the chat, drop me a fire emoji or a little cash emoji, wave at us, let us know. You guys are ready to get going? Yep, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna let Susan teach us that, and then just so you know what's coming up next, don't leave us because the next step is going to be the O, or order, right? So we're going to learn how to defeat that spider of wealth destruction using the organization strategies that are trusted by multi-million-dollar businesses. When you gain clarity and master how to get organized, that organization just then becomes your armor. And it's built for helping you to conquer your results with speed. So, all right, guys, let's get started with step number 1.
All right. So good to see Teresa too. So good to see all of you guys. I am really, really happy. Now, here comes the code. Here comes what you came for. All right. Before, I want you to hear this video because I thought it was really like,
I know what
makes
you do
sense.
for work. I know where you live. I know how much money you make. I know what your social security number is. I know if you're married. I know how many kids you have. I know what your favorite food is, where you like to shop. I know what your hobbies are. I know everything you own. Okay, then can you tell me how much I owe for taxes? I can't give you that info, but you do know. Yes, you can't just send me a bill telling me how much I owe. Why would I do that? Okay, well, I'll do my best to figure it out, I guess. Literally, no one taught us how to do this, but okay. And if you're wrong, you go to prison.
Like that is so true. Like, it's like, all right, we're going to enter into the Chronicles of the Tax Jungle. Are you guys prepared? Don't be scared. This is the moment. This is the moment that you guys came here for. We are going to find first the tax tangle. The tax tangle says that there's all these kinds of income taxes: ordinary, unearned, portfolio, earned, active, passive, like, it's a spaghetti plate. But don't worry, there's another tax tangle. It's a tax tangle number 2, okay? Because the same income is called different names: passive income, portfolio income, and active income. That's how the IRS has it, and it's called all kinds of different names. So it's not your fault that you are confused. After realizing this, it's like, gosh, for months I wonder, how in the world would I be able to explain complicated tax code to people who are not accountants? So they not only understand it, but could follow the IRS's own system to decrease their taxes and defend themselves in the event of an examination. Then it hit me. Pictures can say 1,000 words. So that's how the TCS quadrant was born. After years of helping small and multi-millionaire business owners, I saw the quiet pain behind tax confusion. IRS classes kept me compliant, but they didn't go deep enough. I needed a real solution. I needed real answers. So I went beyond. I studied, I prayed, I listened to the stories of those who came too late. These really mark the inception of what we now call Susan's TCS quadrant. The tax code is scale quadrant to help you measure, because nobody's doing that right now, measure and manage your tax bill before your accountant, before the tax software, and before the year end. All right. Ready for action, people? Ladies and gentlemen, I am opening the curtain to a groundbreaking revelation that will turbocharge your tax knowledge. I am going to touch on 3 different parts: income, tax rates, and occupation. So we're going to start with income. When you understand these, everything else makes sense. This is your dominoes effect. You already know how a house looks. So I want you to imagine 2 houses. One is your first home and your vacation home. I'm using these as a symbol of the tax code. Here it is. This is the main frame. One is your first home, the other one is your vacation home. There are 2 floors in each one. The first home has 2 floors. One is active income, the other one is ordinary income. Your vacation home has passive income and portfolio income. This right here, and I know you heard so much, but this right here is the code, okay? And I will dismantle. I'm going to take the layers little by little. But when you understand this, everything else starts to make sense. So earned income has active income and ordinary income. An earned income home has passive income and portfolio income. But I thought, what would be just images helps us to understand it. But you know what? Pictures with colors can say 10,000 words. So here it is. Ta-da! Meet Susan's TCS quadrant in its true colors. From red, more taxes, all the way to portfolio income, less taxes. Now you have a guide. I want you to start wondering where you are. I want you to start thinking, what goes inside of each one of them? So this right here, this active income is mainly earnings from when you work for a W-2, when you're working physically as a self-employed, that's where you are. So who's in active income? Employees and self-employed people. Oh, really? So is an LLC there? Yep, an LLC is there. And then the ordinary income is mainly earnings from a person that owns an S corporation. You use more your mind than your hands. It's less physical, more mental. And you actively make decisions versus active income, you materially working. You're an employee, here you're an owner, you're a manager. And then passive income and portfolio income, do you know the main difference is when you sell? When you sell, let's say you own a rental property, you sell it, that's passive income. One you control, the other you don't control. Remember, I was explaining to you earlier that there are only 2 types of businesses. One, the one that you own, the other one where it's other people's business. Here it is. Passive income, you control. When you sell something, you sell your rental property, that's passive income. When you sell ETFs, when you sell the stocks, that's portfolio income. The IRS doesn't mix them. The IRS keeps it separate. So I'm going to ask you a question. Is rental income passive income or ordinary income? Just take a shot. What would you say rental income is? And would you say rental income is passive income or number 2, ordinary income? I cannot see the chat. Let me see. Maybe.
We've got a lot of passive and then ordinary.
Okay. So rental income is not passive income, even though everybody's preaching out there that it's rental income. It's not. Because we're looking at the income through the lenses of the IRS. We're not looking at this through our own lenses. We're going to look at the code through the lenses of the IRS. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Passive income rental income is ordinary income, people. The only time passive income is the IRS sees passive income is when you sell something. Yep. That's the only time. When you sell ETFs and all that stuff, that's portfolio income because you sold it. That's portfolio income. So, and qualified dividends. But I just want to stay very plain, simple. I just want you to understand where you're at. So now let me show you the rates. There is all kinds of tax rates: payroll tax, federal tax, self-employment, net investment income tax, capital gains, and there's like, that's another tax rate entanglement. And on top of that, the same tax rate is called different names. Like, as if that wasn't enough, they just like, let's call the same tax rate like 3 different types of names. I think that'll be fun. Well, let me see here. Let me show you. This right here is the tax rates organized in its own beautiful, splendid colors from top to bottom, because we're going to put these in the tax code, in the quadrant. And this is how they go. Now you know which tax rates the IRS decides to charge depending on where you are in the quadrant. And remember, you have this page where you have 4 quadrants. This is what I was talking about. Your first quadrant is active income, then is ordinary income, then is passive income, then is portfolio income. I want you guys to start identifying where you think you are. All right, so this is very important, people. Now, would you like to view your occupations through the lenses of the IRS? Would you like to see how the IRS, when they see you and you tell them, I am an S corporation or I am an employee, the IRS is seeing something totally different. So I'm going to show you where your occupations are in this quadrant. It will be fascinating to know how the IRS sees your occupations. So I group them into 5: employees, self-employed people, LLCs, sole member LLCs, S corporations, retired people, and investors. All right, so we're gonna put you in this quadrant, okay? Ready to see it? All right, let's go. And whoo-hoo, here it is. Now you know where you are in the tax quadrant. Active income, employees, LLCs, sole member LLCs, self-employed people. Ordinary income, S corporations, retired individuals, investors. Passive income, investors, S corporations, and portfolio income, investors, and C corporations. I know you're not going to remember all of these, like it just, but there's a reason why I'm showing you these. And the reason is because once you understand these, you're going to be able to estimate your own taxes. When you go to your accountant right now, your accountant tells you how much it's going to be, and you may not like it, but then you pay it. Who is checking the accountant's calculations? Who is checking them? Any idea? Nobody. Nobody, people. Nobody is checking the accountant's calculation. And then we wonder why over 93% of the business owners are overpaying taxes. Think about it. That's the study. That's the research. Over 93%, even if you pay the most expensive accountant. It's over 93%. The results came in after the research. So, but now you're going to understand, you're starting to understand what the tax code is. I'm going to give you a little story to put all this together. So I want you to picture this. We're going to tell the story of Zena. Zena started by selling food out of her home, and had her niece and nephew deliver the meals around the neighborhood, okay? What type of income did she have? Zena had active income with material participation because she was using her hands. She was cooking, sweating. That's active income. But then, as her business grew, Zena registered it as an S corporation. She hired more people and moved to a restaurant. She does not cook anymore, but she actively makes all the decisions of the activities in her business. What type of income did Zena, or does Zena now has? Ordinary. She has ordinary income with active participation. But now, Zena, after working for several years, she sold her restaurant and the property. I'm going to say this word again. She sold her restaurant and the property where she ran her restaurant. So what type of income did she have? Passive income. And she pays capital gains. And then Zena decided, you know what? I understand the restaurant business. She now invests in the stock market of similar businesses long term, and many times receives qualified income, or sometimes she sells those equities. What type of income does she receive? Portfolio income. I would love to find out what percentage, if you can tell me in the chat, what percentage have you understood so far? I would love, is it 10%, 50%, 100%? I would love to find out. Come on, type in the chat. What percentage did you guys? Oh, awesome. Very good. 100%, 80%. This is awesome. It still makes my head spin. That's great. 100%. Very good. Oh my goodness. This is great. My goodness. Lindy says 100% too. Breezy 80%. This is great. I thought I was going to hear like less than 10, less than 50%. This is awesome. You guys are ready for a quiz then. All right, let's go to the other one. I want to ask you, I'm going to ask you some questions. Let me go to the other room. Let me go to the other room. I'm going to put this on mute. And I'm going to go to the other room. Let's go.
And if Susan is getting her stuff together, set up, guys, get ready to share some takeaways or some mind-blowing moments that you guys had, like I just had. My goodness, yeah, like I said, Susan makes it so clear and understandable, but I still feel like my head's spinning a little bit when you start looking at all that tax tangle. So yeah. Anyway, if anybody else has any takeaways to share, go ahead and unmute yourself or drop it in the chat. Either way, love to hear this. Yeah, I think I see you, Susan, there. Okay.
Before the takeaways, let me ask you this. This is my actual TCS quadrant. This is the actual code. I want to ask you this, for those of you who understand so far. This is right here, an S corporate shareholder. Where does these S corporate shareholder goes in the quadrant? Where would I put it?
You guys can drop it in the chat where you think it goes, or you can even come off mute and share where do you think. VC says ordinary.
Reese says ordinary. Ooh,
Lindy says
very good. Awesome. Applauses for Reese. Ooh, yay. Ordinary. And Tanya said ordinary too. And Lindy and Cash Luz. Awesome. Very good. Awesome. Now let me ask you another question. This is an LLC. This is a person that has her own business or his own business. And it's an LLC, a sole member LLC, right here. Where would I put, what type of income does this LLC get?
Drop it in the chat, guys. Where would this one go? Anybody? I think we stumped somebody. Oh, there we go. Active. Reese says active.
Reese said active. Somebody said ordinary. Active. Sarah, active. Woohoo! You guys are so smart.
Here.
You are so right. That's active income. Yay! Applauses for you guys. You guys are like warriors. You guys are real wealth warriors. And this is going to be, I think, an easy one. How about this? How about an employee? If you're an employee and you get W-2 income, active.
Yep.
Very good. This is awesome. Yes, that's active. I think the colors are giving it away, right? How about this one? This is an investor. This is someone who sold his property, his real estate property. Where would I put this person? He sold the property. Tanya says passive. Yeah, very good. Awesome. Very good. Of course, the colors are giving it away. Okay. I'm going to ask you one last one. Okay. And this is the last one. This is an investor, but this investor didn't sell a property, okay? They just receive rental income. That's all. Rental income. Where would I put him?
It says ordinary. Rick says ordinary. Reese says ordinary.
All right. Rick says ordinary. Reese says ordinary. Ooh, you guys are so, my goodness. You guys are so right. Yes. Applauses for you guys. Woohoo. Yes. This, remember, this is S corporations mainly. This is employees and LLCs. This is self-employees also. This is the employee of an S corporation also. So an S corporation as an employee will be here. Or, and let me put this one here. This is the employee of an S corporation. It's also going to be here. And here is when you sell, not when you get rental income. You guys are learning something that is not there. Okay? Because we are seeing not how the IRS, not how other people see passive income. We're seeing how the IRS decides to charge us. And that's what counts. And this is for ETFs. When you sell ETFs, when you sell mutual funds, the stocks, or you get not ordinary, but qualified dividends. So that's all the only two that are here. And the one thing that is here is when you sell. So selling or qualified dividends, S corporations, retired people are here. When you get interest from the bank, you're here. And as a self-employed employee, LLC, sole member LLC, you're here. You are so wonderful people. Let's go to the other place. All right. I'm going to show you something else, and then we're going to go with Hannah. All right, I'm back. So I'm going to show you the destination. Okay. And this I've never shown anybody, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you guys to see the TCS quadrant. What you just saw right now, you see it in action. And this is it. This, let's say that there is $50,000 in ordinary income, $50,000 in active income, and there is no passive income. There is no portfolio income. This right here is an Excel sheet. The total is $100,000. In this Excel sheet, you actually get to see live what is the tax cost of the type of income you receive. So in this case, we have active income and ordinary income. And in this case, what's taxable is $60,000. The taxes is $67,223. This is the TCS quadrant live. This you can change as many times as you want, because you know what? The tax software doesn't come up until January of the year, when the year is already over. And you guys are going to learn that what is the point of that? Actually, let me tell you this. The IRS says the tax season is January through April. You know what I learned with helping people, helping different types of businesses? That is the wrong way. Yes, you do that. But if you really want to protect your wealth, you have to use the wealth season. The wealth season is August, September, and October. That's when the wealth warriors really use a calculation to find out their taxes a few months before tax season, so that they have enough time to make adjustments and to make different decisions. These guys, this is atomic. And not only obviously you get your how much in federal taxes, this calculates it automatically, but also calculates your self-employment taxes. And everything is automatic. What you do is you just put in how much ordinary, how much portfolio, how much W-2 wages, how much net self-employment, and then depending on that, now you get automatically, you know how much taxes you have to pay. So in this case, the total is 11%. That 6,723 represents 11%. And how much income? 60% in this case, in this example. And I can make all kinds of changes with this because it's a worksheet. The only way I could do this, I could build this over the years, is by knowing the tax code, which right now you guys have it. So now with that, I'm giving it to Hannah. Okay.
Oh, you guys, that was amazing. I don't know about you, but like that excites me to see that TCS quadrant that Susan has created. Like, knowledge is power, right? And as a business owner, that's so important to know these things. Like you said, for that wealth season, Susan, like that's so, like if we're building wealth, true wealth, and being strategic about it, it's so important to know these things that, So that's what the wealthy know, how they work their things out, right? Just by knowing these things. And so that was so powerful. All right, you guys, we would love to have a few takeaways and share some of the nuggets you guys have learned or some of the amazing things that you've thought about as we're going through this. So come off of mute and share with us. Wave your hands. You can bring it up. Hey, Rick.
Well, I realized I hate being wrong and the ego, not wanting to even guess and just sitting there. But I did figure out the color codes quickly, so I didn't want to be cheating in a way and giving the answers and stuff like that. But then because we'd learned the thing earlier about the passive income, I was wrong on that earlier. But then they tricked me with the green color, but I still did the ordinary because we'd learned that one already. And anyway, it's realizing my own ego and how much I liked being the top student in the class when I was growing up. And so this is learning stuff I don't know the answers to. And so it's very humbling.
Thanks for sharing, Rick.
Glad. This is so good.
Anybody else want to come off and share? Sarah, Zena, Lynn, haven't heard from you guys for a while. Oh, Dr. TB. Yeah, would love to hear any takeaways you guys have. And you might think like, oh, I don't make enough money yet to even worry about taxes yet. Maybe if you're starting out new or you're, whatever. But that's, well, it's short-sighted, a little bit lazy too, right? But it will definitely keep you from growing in abundance if you're just running in circles around, right? The truth is you can't expect to grow a wealth tree, right? We talked about that, the image with the tree, without giving it your care and attention and understanding how to best care for it, because you'll never know like where your money is or where it went, right? And like you said, Susan, if well over 90% of the tax returns are incorrect, right? Yeah. Oh, Sarah says, thank you. This is awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any more takeaways before we go on to the next step?
It's Reese again. I would just say again, awesome teaching. I've never heard it broken down like this before. So this was amazing. I would just say like it's so important to understand and know the system and know the code so you can save money in the end, right? So instead of running away from the numbers, so Susan, what you're doing is making it less scary, really, making it less scary, taking the fear out of it and just saying, hey, just know these steps, know this code, get with somebody who knows what they're doing, the experts in this area, and they'll show you the path. They'll show you like you said, the way to the treasure. So you can save so much more on the front end. So I just really appreciated all the teaching and the clarity that I received, because I'm really not the numbers person, but you made it so simple and easy. Like I can explore this a little bit more. I can be more active with what that looks like for our business instead of running away from those numbers and just giving it all over to the accountant, the person who's doing a tax return. Just take more of an active role in that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reese. Yes. Anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're about to jump into, we're going to jump into step 2, which is the O in code, order, right? We're going to crush that spider of wealth destruction. It's not just robbing our peace, it's stealing our time, and it's something even more painful than that. It's stealing our money, but even more painful than that is stealing our time, right? Because time is the only finite thing. But now you're going to receive the armor to conquer your results faster than ever. And then make sure you guys hold on and tease you with the next step is going to be about deductions, right? How we get to strike that dragon of wealth destruction with the laser of deductions, right? Hidden within the lies, your trove of tax strategies, right? So that we can unlock it and really be strategic with our wealth season and take us to step 2.
Yay! Really quick one to tell you. When you say, maybe I don't make enough money to start thinking about tax strategy or getting organized, but think about this. When God gave us a child, He gave us when they are little baby. If God would have given us our children when they were like 14 years old, how hard would that have been to raise them? When it comes to taxes, you want to start when you don't have all that much money coming in, because you're going to actually understand the process much easier and you're going to have better control. And the other thing I want to tell you, I'm not good with numbers. Yeah, I just said it. I just told you the truth. I'm horrible when it comes to with numbers. I don't like numbers. So I needed to use reasoning. Reasoning is what business owners have in abundance. Just think about that. Reasoning is what business owners have in abundance. And that's what you guys are getting here with the tax code. Yeah. I'm going to go through step 2 very quickly because I just realized it's 2:27. So I'm going to go very quickly. So try to stay with me because this is powerful, okay? Right now, according to the McKinsey report, employees spend about an hour and 48 minutes every day, or 9.3 hours per week on average, searching and gathering information. To put it another way, business hire 5 people, but only 4 show up to work. The 5th one is off searching for answers, but not contributing any value. So while a IDC report highlights that the knowledge worker spends about 2.5 hours per day, or about 30% of a work day searching for information. The problem is, if this person earns $100 per hour, in just 1 year, they will be spending over $50,000. This goes unnoticed. Remember the spider? This goes unnoticed. Nobody's talking about it in the news, but this is actual money that we're spending. The solution? I want to save you with the organization that I'm about to give you. I want to save you minimum at least 1 hour. So if you make $100 per hour, I'm going to save you per year at least over $25,000 right now. If you follow this system, that is a proven system. The banks have used it because remember, I work at the bank. I was a manager at a bank. I learned the organization system, and I learned the organization systems from different multi-millionaire businesses. You're about to get it for free. So, in the tax system. So the solution is the trinity of time mastery: personal and business. Types of organizations. There are 2 types of organization. One is your computer file organization, and the other one is that workflow organization. And that's how come you guys, or a lot of people, have a lot of conflicts. Like you are organizing one way in your computer, but yeah, your work organization needs to be different. All right, here it goes. This is the 3 pillars of business organization. This is your computer organization, which you separate it into 3: marketing, administration, product or service. That's how you organize your computer files. Your workflow is organized as time, tax, and treasure. So, computer files. So how do we do the computer files? When it comes to personal, we go pictures, health, food, home, family, and then receipts and personal taxes. This is your 3 pillars. Now I'll show you. And then workflow organization is your minds, everything about your mind and soul wellness, everything about your body and home wellness, and then your home, and then your money, wealth, wellness. Now, I'm going through this really quick, I know, but I just want you to see something. I just want you to see these. The business computer file organization. This is going to help you to save a lot of time. Remember, I was saying that it is marketing, administration, and service. The way you organize everything about marketing is creating, connecting, and converting. The way you organize everything about administration is operations, finance, and legal, and then client communication. The way you organize a service is anything that is books and magazines, separate from trainings and workshops, membership classes, separate from live events, retreats, one-on-one, and speaking engagements. So I want to show you these. This is, pretend this is your computer files. All of this is marketing. You have a code for all your marketing files. And then you have another code for administration. So you're going to have ones, and all your folders, you're going to have ones, and that ones, is pertaining to marketing. For the folders that is administration, it's going to have a 2, and that is for administration. And you can put icons in there because you're going to be able to find things faster. Product or service is 3. Then that's your coding that you would put to these folders. You will be able to find them faster. And then, of course, for your personal, you're going to have your pictures, your images, all of that centralized also in one grouping, where everything about you, everything about family and friends, all the types of celebrations gather in one, segregated into groups, and then everything about travels, everything about picnics, museums, restaurants. So this way you're actually also able to find your pictures, your personal pictures, because right now, how many of you spend so much time with that alone? And so these right here, I'm going to go back to these right here, actually. I want you to see at least for you to see these. Your computer organization is math, marketing, administration, and the service that you provide. If you organize it that way, you're going to find your files much faster. When it comes to workflow, is everything that's going to save you time, everything that has to do with taxes, and everything that has to do with your money. It's going to help you. It's going to help you move during your workflow. And so I work. I know this is going fast, but I'm going to get to really quick to actually. We're not going to take a break since we're like the time is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But I'm going to give this back to Hannah, and then after that, I'm going to go into the deductions, which is like what I want you to see. There's another quadrant there that I really want you to see. All right, go ahead, Hannah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So I know that was kind of fast, but anybody have any takeaways from that little spot right there? I know for me, that was that organization flow chart actually gave me some ideas because I had never seen that before, Susan. So that was really awesome. And right, like for all of us, as we're trying to do things correctly, like having an organizational flow will help you be able to find things, save us time, and save us money in the long run, right? So I know that was my kind of takeaway. Anybody else have any takeaways you guys want to share? We're heading into our next step here.
I just agree with you, Hannah. Organization is key. And thank you for the way that Susan outlined it, because I'm not good in that area at all with the computer files and organization. No, I'm not good at all, but I need to do better. And that showed us that, like you said, it's so key. So I love it.
And like it gave me like an idea of like, oh, that's how to organize it, right? Because I love organization too, but I'm not really good at always like creating the system for it.
Right.
Yeah. That was really awesome. Thank you, Reese. Yeah, I think there's always that misconception that, oh, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it at tax time. And that's, kind of scary or infamous last word sometimes, right? Like Susan, she's seen, so many people at the destruction part of it, right? And that's where we're not trying to get, because, the truth is financial fires and tax fires, they're not, they aren't being identified early with the organization, things like that, it can burn our businesses to the ground, right? I think 20% of businesses go out within the first year, and up to 50% of businesses are burned to the ground within 5 years. That's scary? And that's not what we want for us and for our families, right? Those little wisps of smoke were there at the beginning for a little flicker of flame, right? But if you don't manage it right there at the beginning, it can turn into a raging forest fire that can't be controlled and can burn us to the ground. So yeah, I think that's super important that we pay attention now as we're building as well. Anybody else have a takeaway? Anything else? You guys are sharing your takeaways. You're really helping to deepen the learning and the understanding for everybody in the room, right? So I love when you guys share because it really inspires others. It helps us to like look at things from another perspective. And again, it helps us to learn and retain those seeds of knowledge that we're learning. It helps it to dig roots into us as well. Good things. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump into the next step. So step 3, that is about the deductions, right? Ready to fight the dragon of wealth destruction that we talked about. I love your images, Susan. How many of you guys are ready to fight that fire with the laser of deductions? So let's unlock that trove of tax strategies that Susan has for us, and let's start taking back what's rightfully ours. And then just keep in mind the next step, the last step, is going to be the estimate, right? Where Susan told me we'll be able to estimate what comes to it, how, what we might be owing, so we can kind of have that general knowledge. So yeah, but you guys, that's going to be the next step, right? As we go into that. But is it, Susan, it's okay if I tell the story about this before you dive into that next step?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. We're going to gain that power to spot the snake's lies and all those things. But before we do that, it's okay to tell you guys a quick story. One of our mutual mentors and things, guys that we learned from is Myron Golden, and he has his law of advancement, which is, to believe you've got to do something you've never done, you have to go to another level, right? So, there are like the laws of the universe, right? The law of polarity, which is the law of Newton's first law of motion, right? Which is an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force, right? We've all heard that. Well, today we want to introduce to you or talk about the law of advancement. And it works like this. In nature, before anything can go up, it has to go down. So if you think, we have a seed, and that seed is sitting there thinking, I want to be a tree. It's like, no, you don't want to be a tree. You're a seed. You're a seed. Somebody's like, no. I want to be a tree. I want to be a tree. I want to be a big, tall, majestic tree. But before that seed can grow into this big, strong, majestic tree, what does it have to do? Type in the chat. What does the seed have to do?
Good time.
Anybody? Yeah. Before it gets to grow up, it has to go down into the ground. And once it gets there, it has to be planted, and has to be willing to cease to be a seed, what it has always been before. It has to be willing to change. So same thing applies to us. In order for you to become everything that you can become, reach your limitless potential, you must be willing to stop being what you have always been so that you can become all that you are called to be. In order to grow up, you have to go down. So like the seed that goes down into the ground and no longer is a seed and grows up and becomes this majestic, towering tree, right? You can imagine that tree is growing on the edge of a cliff. And one day, Mama and Daddy Eagle are flying by and they see that tree. Eagles love to be on high perches, right? Oh, look at that. It's a great tree. It's a great house for us. Let's have some babies. So Mom and Daddy, they had babies. They watch the babies hatch and they grow. And then one day those baby eagles ask them, teach us how to fly. We want to fly like you. And they're like, oh, no, you're not ready. But they keep asking. So we're like, all right, tomorrow we're going to teach you how to fly. So the next day, Mama Eagle picks up baby bird, or gets on Mama's back, and they go flying. And as they're flying and soaring through the air, all of a sudden, Mama Eagle turned over and drops them. And the baby eagle, screaming, freaking out, falls down. Now, why did the mom eagle do that? Of course, she catches the eagle and brings it back to the nest, right? Settles baby eagle down. Okay, it's okay. The next day, the baby eagle doesn't want to go out and fly, but Mama Eagle's like, nope, we're going to learn how to fly. You said you wanted to learn how to fly. So puts on the back, goes flying. Same thing. Turns and drops baby eagle. Baby eagle fly, drops down, freaking out. And this happens every day until one day, when the mama eagle drops that baby, the baby eagle starts to freak out, but all of a sudden the wind comes and catches under his wings, just at the right time. And the baby eagle begins to soar and starts to fly. You guys, even an eagle, before it gets to go up and fly soaring heights, it has to go down. So as humans, just like, we can live in our own little nest of sorts, right? It's called the circle of sameness. And when it's our turn to learn to fly, we might start falling. We will start falling. And we as humans, do we have to learn how to fly as high as possible? No, we don't have to, because we have a choice, right? Eagles don't have a choice. And what percentage of eagles learn how to fly? Anybody know? What percentage of eagles learn how to fly when they're being taught like that by their parents? Drop in the chat. 100%. Yes, 100% of eagles learn how to fly, and they fly high, right? And they soar like an eagle. Eagle flying is majestic, right? But we as humans, we aren't forced to learn how to fly or to soar to go to that next level, right? And the anticipation that we might have sometime of impact, that's what we are afraid of, right? Just like the baby eagle, we're freaking out because, oh my gosh, we're gonna hit the ground. We're afraid of hitting that ground and smashing instead of allowing that wind to catch our wings and help us to soar. And so we crawl back into our circle of sameness, our little nest of comfort, because that's our comfort zone, right? You think about when they're building new construction, they're building buildings, right? What do they have to do in order to build the building? They just put on the ground? No, they have to dig a hole into the ground. They have to go down into the ground and put a foundation in before they can build these massive soaring high rises, right? The seed has to go down into the ground, has to stop being a seed. Airplane, as they're going, they have to drop their flaps down before they can go up, right? If you are pretending that you want your income to go up, but you're never going to let your bank balance go down, or you're afraid of falling, you guys, you're kidding yourself. It's not how the laws of nature work. That's not how it works. For us to go up, we have to go down. So if you are serious about advancing, about going up, going to that next level, don't wait. Make your decision. Make it right now. Everybody got that? Drop me a yes in the chat or a fire emoji in the chat. You are ready to go up. Yes. Thanks, Rick.
Yes.
All right, Susan. Chris.
Yay. Awesome. Don't wait, because after this, you guys are going to go back to the sameness. It's going to be very easy to go to the sameness. And it's going to go in the past. And when tax season comes, during tax season, because you didn't prepare, or a person doesn't get prepared, they're running like a chicken without a head. And I saw the IRS and the business owner in the battlefield, and the business owner is folded. They cannot see everything. While the business owner, while the IRS can see everything. I witnessed that in person. And that's not a good fight. Most business owners, they say, well, not most, but some of the ones that I spoke with, Susan, I am smart. I thought I could go to the IRS office and represent myself. I didn't. Once they got there, then they realized that, oh my God, I didn't know what I didn't know. One guy told me, Susan, I wanted to hide myself. I wanted to hide under the table, under the desk. I was so embarrassed. And this is the words he said, Susan, they ate me alive. That's what he said. And I wish so much I would have been there to help him, but I didn't know. So I just want to invite right now, really quick. I want to invite you. Let me see, somebody's trying to get in. I know this is not for everybody, but for those of you that may be interested, I am actually teaching. I am actually going to have a workshop, And I'm inviting you to make an appointment. This is a brand new, it's the only colorful TCS tax decodification training on planet Earth, guarantee, because it took me several years to put this together, created by yours truly. This is tax, time, and treasure to measure and manage. It's a 3 full days workshop and 3 week support. You're going to harness 30 years, 3+ years of financial mastery to skyrocket your cash flow. Because just think about it. Wasn't this good? This is nothing compared to what I have to teach you, people. Like, yeah, this is nothing. There is so much more. I'm here dying to be able to show you everything, but this workshop is fire up by turbo spreadsheets and colorful images to speed your understanding and implementation so you fulfill your life's purpose and enjoy more peace. So this is for you if you're a business owner that does taxes in the US, of course. I'm only taking 20 students, and I'm actually going to have 10, the first 10 will get exclusive legacy bonus just for this one. I'm doing something new. I like to have fun when I do these offers. So I'm only taking 20 for this ride. For this, we're going to the moon, people. Did I tell you we're going to the moon? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm taking 20 to the moon, and 10 are going to have exclusive legacy bonus. So let's go. Set up your appointment. We're going to take rocket. We're going to take your business because your business is like a rocket. So set up your appointment. I'm going to ask Luz if you can drop the link for the appointment so that you guys can make an appointment. All right, so let's continue on with the next one. This one is, I'm going to try to do this quick, but I'm going to give you, oh guys, my gosh. I'm going to give you something that it's now nowhere on planet Earth because obviously, it is not out there, okay? What people talk about out there is tax strategies, but they're not giving you the whole map, okay? You're about to get the whole map, people. It's like, I wish I would have gotten this when I was representing these people on in-person IRS audits. Actually, I had to, once I represented people on in-person IRS audits, it's when I went back to the tax jungle to create this training. I didn't tell you something, and I'm going to tell you this really quick. One of my audits took 10 months. 10 months. And I became friends with her. But it was very painful to see the suffering, the silent suffering that she went through. And my client, who was my client that I had for several years, 8-figure client, got audited by the IRS. They knew already. They never had the revenue agent come to their office. Oh no, they just sent them right there to my office. And this revenue agent came in thinking that my client was doing fraud. So he came with these papers, very he put it in my desk like, your client is committing fraud. This is my client they were talking about, and I had him for years. And so I respectfully gave him all the work. I had prepared for him for 1 week, people, 1 week. I knew that there are people that are kind of old when they do the audits, and I know that older people tend not to be too patient. So I decided to do some of their work. And I gave him the paperwork. He went to my other office, and he told me, before he left to my other office, he told me, this might take at least 3 hours or more, because from that, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years, okay? And this was an 8-figure client, so they were ready to get some money. And remember, that's the other client that were not my clients. They were referred to me afterwards, took 10 months. So I gave him all the paperwork. He went to my other office. He came back. He came out of that office in less than 2 hours, people. And you know what he said? He said the word that I want anybody that gets audited to hear it. He said, no change. You know what that means? No change means, Susan, the taxes, everything balance 100%. Susan, the rules will follow 100%. Susan, you comply with everything about the rules, the laws, the numbers, you comply with everything. There is no change, 0 change. I will just send you a letter that your clients can have that there was no change. Still, they're going to be on the radar for the next 3 years, but there is no change. That's okay. That's okay. We're waiting for you, man. If you come back, we're waiting because we know how the tax law works. So I want you to see the difference from this lady that came back from another client that was with the other accountant. The other accountant didn't answer the phone because she didn't know how to help them. So I want you to see the difference, 10 months versus less than 2 hours. When you know the code, you can protect yourself. So right now, I'm going to give you something that is very important. Right now, a Clutch survey reveals 30% of small business owners feel they overpay taxes, even though they're confident in their filing. So the numbers came back 93% or more than 9 in 10 business owners were overpaying on their taxes, regardless of whether they were paying a high price accountant or not. Many business owners overpay taxes due to lack of tax knowledge, leading to confusion and missed savings, highlighting the urgent need for better tax education. So I want you to, this is just a little tiny research of the big research that I've done of the big problem. So the biggest problem is lack of knowledge about the tax code. But that solution, guys, I'm right now giving you that solution. The solution is, and before I give you, actually, I'm going to just jump to the solution, is the tax treasure trove. The tax treasure trove is a map of the entire taxes, of the entire deduction of the IRS system. And here it is. You got tax coupons, tax planning, and tax strategies. This is the entire deduction strategy system of the IRS. The first one is enforce. All of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is enforced by the IRS. The only one that is enforced, that is not enforced by the IRS, is number 6. You know who enforces that? The taxpayer. The taxpayer is the one enforcing the number 6. This is what you will find in my training. So I'm not going to give you all of these, but I'm going to give you the number 6, which is the one that is enforced by you guys, which is the top, the best, only the best. Why? Because there is no tax now and no tax later. How many of you like that? No tax now, no tax later. Yes, I'm going to give you the best, okay? And here it is. And here it is. This right here, and this needs to be launched in the first quarter, like at the beginning of the year. This is the list, and I'm gonna read to you the first one, the list number 2. Let me just do something here because for some reason it's not showing and I want you guys to see it. So here, estimate your current year taxes in October. That's what the multimillionaires do. And you've been asking, so Susan, how do I save like the wealthy people? I'm giving you the foundational one. You need to get an insight into your tax strategies so you can implement them way before tax season. You may need to decrease expenses, start saving money to pay your tax bill, or decide if you should purchase an asset before December 31st. It will help you to avoid penalties if you're not withholding the correct amount. It will help you identify potential deductions or credits that you may qualify. It will reduce stress by staying organized and proactive. In other words, it's going to reduce big time stress because it's going to help you to plan better, and it's going to help you completely avoid running like a chicken without a head during tax season. So I'm going shortcuts, but if there was one thing that I want you guys to take with you is start getting an estimate of your taxes either in August, September, or October, because that's how you truly remember the dragon. The dragon doesn't want you to use tax strategies until after the year. It calms down because the damage has been already done. So the damage is already done if you do your taxes for the first time after the year closes, because the vault is locked, boom, shut. It cannot be reopened. You cannot go back to the prior year. So I want you to take that with you. And I know that we went, it's already 3 p.m. We didn't go to step 4. But I'm offering, for those of you that want to stay, I'm offering bonus time. So you guys, whoever would like to stay, I'm offering bonus time. And for maybe another 15-20 minutes for those that can stay. And I understand for those of you that have another appointment, you can go. But I would like to know if you would want to stay for another 15 minutes. What do you say, Hannah?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like, there's so much information here. Yes, I am sure. Yeah, 15 minutes sounds great. First question, Q&A. Anybody have any questions? Stay here. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us today. And Susan, thank you. Like, I will say you're the first person that ever made tax seem like doable and understandable for me as a business owner. So I'm super excited for this, and just thank you so much for putting all your passion and time into this and sharing it with us and giving us power over this. So thank you.
Yay! Awesome. So I would love to give you something that is very, very important. This is number 4, step 4. Before you guys go, I want you to know these 3 things. These are some critical alerts, and then I'll give you back, Hannah, to end it. Some critical alerts to not invite an audit. Maybe simple, but it's very, very powerful. Number 1 is file your taxes each year and do not file more than 1 amendment. Number 2 is keep the categories of your expenses the same. And number 3, do not use whole numbers for all your expenses. So instead of using 100, 1,000, you can also estimate with pennies. You don't have to estimate as a whole. And due to time, I'm not going to go through step 4 because I want to give some time for questions and for Hannah to get some takeaways before we go. All right.
Okay, yeah. So before we jump into any Q&As, guys, I would love to hear any takeaways. I know some of you had some calls to jump off on, but if you have any takeaways you could share with us before you guys go, any encouragement to Susan. Thank you again for Susan for all you've done. But yeah, I would love to hear anybody. You can raise your hand, come off mute, drop it in the chat. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Reese. Thank you. Rick booked his call. Awesome, you guys. Yes, make sure you guys book your call before you leave today. We'll probably drop that link one more time in here, but yes, definitely book that call with Susan so you guys can discuss what your next steps are and how you can be best supported. And then just before we jump into Q&As, I just wanted to see if it's okay with you guys. I would love to share a little story. It's from the Bible, which you don't have to be religious or anything but just one of the best-selling books out there, right? And there's a great parable in there that Jesus told. It's a story about the man with the talents, right? The 3 men who got some talents from their leader. And he said, this is kind of what the kingdom is like. Jesus said, he said 3 men, they got talents, each got a talent. Well, and a talent, for those of you who don't know, because obviously we don't use that word so much nowadays, but a talent was actually somewhere between 60 to 80 pounds of gold. So it was a lot of money, right? So 60 to 80 pounds of gold for a talent. And Susan did the math on this, but it was comes to roughly $800,000 per talent that they received, right? So a big pile of cash. So the man who got one talent, he got about 800 grand. And the man who got 5 talents got around 4 million, somewhere there, right? So a lot of money. The man who got 2 talents got around 1.6 million. So the owner, he gave them these talents and then he went away. So in the Bible, it says in the story that Jesus tells them he gave it to each man and he gave them to each man according to their ability. Okay, to their own ability. Everybody say ability or type it in the chat for me, because this is a key idea to understand and to grasp. Thanks, Sarah. He gave to each man according to his ability. The same thing, right? I think many times people read this story and they hear it and they hear the word talent, they think talent is something that you're born with, like a skill that you have or a talent, right? Like you can sing really well or whatever, sports talent or whatever, things like that. But all of us can learn new skills, right? We all have the ability to learn something new. I mean, you're able to do things today that you couldn't do 5 years ago, right? And look at kids, how they progress and things, they learn new skills. So abilities are just skills. Everybody say skills, right? Skills.
Skills.
Awesome. What we want is we want you to have the skills to pay the bills, right? That's what, as business owners, the skills to pay the bills and to build wealth, right? Skills are learnable. Abilities are learnable. And I think sometimes, especially with someone as advanced and deep as some of you guys are as business owners, you can get overwhelmed when looking at taxes, right? Because it's right. But some of you, you're ready to go deeper. You're craving that deeper, or that understanding. We want to be empowered around your money and your wealth and taxes. The only difference between the man in the story who had 5 and turned it into 10 and the man who had 1 and hid it, what was it? It was the amount of skill they had or the ability that they had. And you guys, if skills are learnable, abilities are skills and skills are learnable, the only thing you need to do in order to go to that next level and do the greater things that you want to do, to fulfill the calling that you have been called for, to give more to the charities that you care about, to take care of your family and build that legacy that you are envisioning, all of those other things that you want to do, all you need to do is get more skills, right? Somebody put that in the chat for me. Get more skills, right? You guys, it's not a mystery how these things happen, how they happen, right? It's not some magical talent that someone has from birth. Being able to multiply money is simply a skill. and a skill is a learned ability. Say that to yourself. It's just a skill. What I'd like you to do is we're